Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is my spotlight on Tenpole Tudor, who are really great crack. They're such a fun band, they really are. They came from the punk scene and they had huge success. Well, not huge, they had success, only success in 1981 when they released 2 albums and then they split up. Now who are Tenpole Tudor? Well, the lead singer is Eddie Tudorpole, who I'll get on to in a minute. Bob Kingston on guitar, Dick Crippen on bass, Gary Long on drums and Munch Universe on guitar. Now it's a bit weird because there's 5 of them. Munch Universe is usually on the picture sleeves of the singles. He's credited on the albums, but you never see him perform for some reason whenever you see videos. And even the title of their first album, Eddie, Old Bob, Dick and Gary, misses out his name. So I don't know about that, whether he is a part-time member or whatever, or he just didn't want his name on it, I don't know. But what are Tenpole Tudor? Who are they like? Well, if you take a big dollop of the Stray Cats, add in a big dollop of the Ramones and another dollop of the Saw Doctors with a little bit of Adam and the Ants, and then sprinkle over quite a lot of eccentricity, you have Tenpole Tudor. Now they first came to fame whenever they appeared on the Great Rock and Roll Swindle album of 1980. This was recorded in '78 and Eddie Tudorpole takes the lead on Who Killed Bambi and Rock Around the Clock. He's also one of the lead vocalists on the Great Rock and Roll Swindle itself. Now, Who Killed Bambi I think is hilarious. It's got an orchestral backing and it's got his weird vocals. It's really, really funny. Rock Around the Clock's just like a punky type version of the rock and roll hit, and Great Rock and Roll Swindle is just a great song. And it was rumoured that Eddie would take over as lead vocalist of the Sex Pistols after Johnny Rotten left, but the guys went their own way. So this is where we first heard them. And then in 1980 they released their debut single, and it's real fun, and this is on the Kurova label, the same label as Echo and the Bunnymen. Yeah, this is actually quite good. It is like a post-punk type song, a little bit more new wavy than punk, but it's still a decent effort, but it's not really their sound. It was the next single that started to develop their sound, and in 1980 as well they released 3 Bells in a Row. Now this is great fun. It's all about playing the fruit machine, wanting to get to the jackpot, and 3 bells in a row. There are the guys there. Really, really good, uplifting, fun song, but it failed to chart. But they did have success in 1981 when this was released in March of that year, and this is Swords of a Thousand Men. Now this took them into the top 10, it got to number 6, and this is one of those sort of chanting all for one, one for all type songs. It's really, really uplifting, it's really good. Plenty of guitars, plenty of drums, plenty of hoorah, hoorah, hoorah hays. Really, really good song. And the B side of this, which is a non-album track, which is called Love and Food, which I think is every bit as good. In fact, I played it by mistake one time whenever I bought this single, and I thought, oh my god, that's a really, really excellent song. So there is a bit of rockabilly in the Love and Food. Swords of a Thousand Men is an absolute classic, and I'm going to put a link to it below, because I'm sure if you're from America and if you're watching this, you'll have never heard of these guys. So there we go, Swords of a Thousand Men, their biggest hit. They then released their first album, and that is, if I can get this in the right order, it's Eddie, Old Bob, Dick and Gary, and this is absolutely fantastic. It really is uplifting. It's got Swords of a Thousand Men on it. Go Wilder and Header Now are just great sort of punk rocky numbers with bits of chant, and it's not overly chanty. 3 Bells in a Row is a slightly remixed version to the single. Judy Annual's a really good song. What Else Can I Do is fantastic. There's a live version of that on YouTube. And then they released their second single from this, which was Vunderbar. Now Vunderbar was speeded up for the single. The album version slightly slower. This is the version to hear. This is absolutely fantastic. And this was their second hit single, and this got to number 16 in the charts. So it still did quite well. And as you can see, they're all dressed up in Viking gear, and they perform in their videos in Viking gear and so forth. It's really, really good. So Vunderbar was the second single. There's Swords of a Thousand Men, another one I bought, which with a slightly different picture sleeve. That's just for completeness sake. So two great singles from a fantastic album. And then later in 1981 they released a single which happens to be my favourite song of theirs, and it's Throwing My Baby Out with the Bathwater. Now unfortunately this only got to number 49 in the charts, but this is absolutely brilliant. It's slightly more rockabilly, but there is the All for One and One for All in it, but it's really, really good. The Conga Tribe B-side, dismissible, but still excellent A-side. And then they released their next album, still in 1981, and it's Let the Four Winds Blow. Now this too is an absolutely excellent album. It's slightly a little bit more laid back. There's a few more different type songs on this. For example, the song Trumpeteers reminds me a little bit of the Kinks. Tonight is the Night is almost like a 50s sax driven ballad, which is really, really good. It's Easy to See is excellent. What Are You Doing in Bombay is excellent. But I think my favourite song is The King of Siam, which is the last track on side B. Well, my favourite song is actually Throw My Baby Out with the Bathwater, which is also on this. But this is really good, and a second single came from it, and it's Let the Four Winds Blow, and this too is one of those chanty type songs. It's really, really good. Yeah, this actually opens the album, so this failed to chart, as did the previous album. I'm not too sure what Eddie, Old Bob, Dick and Gary got to. I think it got to about 60 something. So that was it. They split up, and in 1983 the Tudors, which was Tenpole Tudor without Eddie Tudorpole, released a single, and it was called Tied Up with Lou Cool. And I don't have a single. I am going to order it though, just for the collection, but you can find it on the Stiff Anthology double CD, and there's the two albums that I've just showed. Now the Tied Up with Lou Cool single, it's quite Cajun-y, and it's actually really good. It kind of reminds me a little bit of early Mungo Jerry, but it's a really good song. But it was the only one they ever released, which is a shame. But yeah, as I say, you can get it on this, and singles are not that expensive on Discogs. But Eddie Tudorpole, under the name Eddie Tenpole Tudor, released the Hayrick song in 1983. Now this is just a huge hoedown. This is hilarious. This is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so it's full of strings. It's almost like a barn dance type thing. It's really good. The guy's crazy, he is, but absolutely brilliant. And on that there double CD that I showed you, you also get a 12-inch version of the Hayrick song as well as the 7-inch version. So this is an excellent CD. And that was it. Now Eddie Tudorpole then went into acting, but he was probably most famous for presenting the Crystal Maze after Richard O'Brien left. I think Eddie did it in the 1990s for a few series. You'll also see him on Fat Les's Vindaloo video, the best football song for England ever, the one with Keith Allen. You see him near the end. But then in 2009 he came out as Tenpole Tudor with this album. Made It This Far. Now I don't have a physical copy of it. I've got a digital copy, and it's a really good, strong rockabilly type album with a little hints of the old Tenpole Tudor in there. Not quite as many, but there are great songs on it, like Made It This Far, football rockabilly. In fact, there's a couple of football songs on it. Yippee-Yi-Yay and the hilarious closer Shut Up Tracy. But yeah, really good album. And then in 2019, under the name the Tenpole Tudor Vikings, this album was released. Again, I don't have a physical copy, and I don't particularly want one, because really all this is re-recordings of most of the Tenpole Tudor songs from the early 80s. But there is a really good new song on it called Rock and Roll Pilgrim, but it's not worth looking out for the actual CD. I would like to get made it this far, but it seems to be quite expensive. Also, I will say on the Three Bells in a Row album by Tenpole Tudor Vikings, they do quite a good version of their debut single, Real Fun. And Real Fun is also on Made It This Far, and it's not as good. So that's one thing that the second album has over the first one of my digital albums. Okay, that's my look at Tenpole Tudor, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.